Are we on? Welcome to the Paraprosdokian Hour. I'm Peter von Gomm, and I'm your host tonight as we explore the Paraprosdokian. A paraprosdokian is a figure of speech in which the latter part of the sentence or phrase is often unexpected, has a double meaning, a humorous twist. Let's take a look. I asked God for a bicycle, but I know God doesn't work that way, so I stole one instead and asked him for forgiveness. The worst time to have a heart attack is during a game of charades. Dimitri Martin. I want to die peacefully in my sleep, like my grandfather, not like the yelling and screaming passengers in his car. Evening news is where they begin with telling you good evening and then proceed to tell you why it isn't. You know, I think it's wrong that only one company makes the board game Monopoly. Stephen Wright. Going to church doesn't make you a Christian any more than standing in a garage makes you a car. The last thing I want to do is hurt you, but it's still on the list. Light travels faster than sound. This is why some people appear bright until you hear them speak. If I agreed with you, we'd both be wrong. We never really grow up. We only learn how to act in public. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. Groucho Marx. To steal ideas from one person is plagiarism. To steal ideas from many is research. A bus station is where a bus stops. A train station is where a train stops. On my desk, I have a workstation. How is it that one careless match can start a forest fire, but it takes a whole box to start a campfire? Some people are like slinkies, not really good for anything, but you can't help but smile when you see one tumble down the stairs. I didn't say I was blaming you. I said it was your fault. Don't argue with an idiot. He'll drag you down to his level and beat you with experience. Why does someone believe you when you say there are 4 billion stars, but check when you say the paint is wet? Why do Americans choose from just 2 people to run for president, but they choose from 50 for Miss America? Behind every successful man is his woman. Behind the fall of every successful man is usually another woman. A clear conscience is usually the sign of a bad memory. The voices in my head may not be real, but they got some great ideas. Always borrow money from a pessimist. They won't expect it back. A diplomat is someone who will tell you to go to hell in such a way that you'll look forward to the trip. Hospitality, making your guests feel at home, even though you wish they were. Some cause happiness wherever they go. Others, whenever they go. I used to be indecisive. Now I'm not so sure. Nostalgia just isn't what it used to be. Some people hear voices. Others see invisible people. Others have no imagination whatsoever. A bus is a vehicle that runs twice as fast when you're after it than when you're in it. Change is inevitable, except from a vending machine. I sleep 8 hours a day, and at least 10 at night. Bill Hicks. On the other hand, you have different fingers. Stephen Wright. My wife, it's difficult to say what she does. Well, she sells seashells on the seashore. Milton Jones. Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. Groucho Marx. I've been missing my ex constantly, but my aim is getting better. I've had a perfectly wonderful evening, but this wasn't it. Groucho Marx. You don't need a parachute to skydive. You only need a parachute to skydive twice. I'd like to see a world without plagiarism. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Imagine
Milton
all
Jones.
the people.
I don't belong to an organized political party. I'm a Democrat. Will Rogers. Standing in the park today, I was wondering why a frisbee looks larger the closer it gets to you. Then it hit me. Stuart Francis. I have the heart of a lion and a lifetime ban from the Toronto Zoo. It's hard to explain puns to kleptomaniacs because they always take things literally. I'm a kleptomaniac, but don't worry, I take something to control it. I was asked to name all the presidents. I thought they already had names. Dimitri Martin. I ate a clock yesterday. It was very time-consuming. How long is a Chinese name? I asked my North Korean friend how it was there, and he said he couldn't complain. I hate Russian dolls. They're so full of themselves. I did a gig in the US for the homeless once, and I said I was so happy to see so many bums in seats. Jimmy Carr. Honesty is the best policy, but it's important to remember that apparently, by elimination, dishonesty is the second best policy. George Carlin. Silence is golden. Duct tape is silver. One thing that humbles me deeply is to see that human genius has its limitations, but human stupidity does not. Alexander Dumas. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. Albert Einstein. If everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough. Mario Andretti. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. Abraham Lincoln. Any man who can drive safely while kissing a pretty girl is simply not giving the kiss the attention it deserves. Albert Einstein. Marriage is a great institution, but I'm not ready for an institution. Mae West. He taught me housekeeping. When I divorce, I keep the house. Zsa Zsa Gabor. The difference between fiction and reality is that fiction has to make sense. When tempted to fight fire with fire, remember that the fire department usually uses water. A fool and his money are soon elected. Will Rogers. Happiness is the absence of striving for happiness. Juan Zhou. Better to be over the hill than under it. Atheism is always not for profit. Oh my God. He often stood outside in order to be outstanding. Women will never be equal to men until they can walk down the street with a bald head and a beer gut. Go to heaven for the climate, hell for the company. Don't go around saying the world owes you something. It doesn't owe you anything. It was here first. Being second is to be the first of the ones who lose. Immature love is loving someone for what they do right. Mature love is loving someone despite what they do wrong. Mark Goulston. All I ask is the chance to prove that money can't buy happiness. Spike Milligan.
Well, thank you for joining the Paraprosdokian Hour. What'd you think of those? Tell me what your favorite one is in the comments, alright? And if you want more of that type of stuff, be sure to let me know. Or if you have any other ideas for stuff read aloud, I'm all ears. Thanks. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click those likes. Make sure you give this man a high five via the web and a hug.
I'll take all the e-hugs I can get. I'll take a real. Oh, jeez. Hey.
I try to be a kind guy, looking for a hug, and look what I get.
Oh.